Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffrey Kennedy, author of Epic Fantasy Romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Utterly delightful. Today is, say it with me. Today is Friday. Woohoo! April 18th. I confess for a moment there, I had no idea what day of the week it was because I have not been working this week, or at least not writing this week, as many of you know. Um, and it's been good. It has not been. I've gotten a lot done. I've gotten a lot done. I'm trying to decide what I was trying to say. It has not been slothful. It has not been the. Is it ever for me? I always come back to the Clifton Strengths stuff, which really did help me understand large parts of how I operate. And being number three achiever, I'm not happy unless I'm getting things done, unless I'm achieving things. And so when my friends tell me, "Oh, you should be resting," it's like, no, I get bored and I start feeling restless. But I'm very happy to report that I have completed a couple of major projects. I finished a beta read for a friend and will send her comments today. And I completed the final tax stuff for 2024. We file in October, for those of you noting that it's April blah, blah, after April 15th. Uh, we don't file on the 15th. And so technically, I had lots more time to get this done because I calculate quarterly. But I really want to get a lot of decks cleared right now while I am not having anything writing due. And I keep saying to people, I've kind of adopted the phrase for the first time in living memory. Um, I'm not sure when the last time was that I didn't have a project waiting in the wings. I mean, I have things I could work on, but that I don't have something that is due either for a self imposed or externally imposed deadline. And, the freedom is just amazing. I don't think we realize what we do to ourselves as creatives, as I want to say working creatives, as career creatives, when you get yourself into this making a living off of your art, and you do have to have that discipline. You do have to have that ability to make yourself work every day, to meet deadlines, self imposed or externally imposed. If you don't have self imposed deadlines, you don't get things out on time. You don't get your books released by the publication date or your whatever you set up for your pre order. And I was having drinks and lunch with Minerva Spencer, my friend who lives up in Taos. We had our monthly meeting at the bar in Jinja, and where we sit and have snacks and drink drinks for about 4 hours while her husband goes to the stamp club meeting. And one of the things we were talking about was she was saying she was having a very hard time making herself work on this book. And we were talking about moving to this thing, and I think I've mentioned it before, where we don't set up books for pre order anymore because it creates so much pressure on ourselves. And she had run this book past me, like essentially plotting it out, talking out the plot. And so she knows what she needs to write and she just doesn't want to. And the thing is she's made really good money and they are in a good financial position now. I mean, not enough that she can stop, but also she's not worried about paying next month's bills. And, um, and I said, why don't you just write something that you do want to write? And she got this look on her face, like this look of intense hopefulness. Um, and she said, do you think I could do that? I said, yes, just cancel this pre order, Give yourself permission to write whatever you want to write. And that's a very interesting place to be. Um, I remember when I was a newbie writer, these many, many years ago, I'm going to say 20 years ago, when I first started writing essays and getting them published, maybe more than 20 years ago, because my first book, my essay collection, Wyoming Trucks, True Love, and the Weather Channel, came out in 2004. So a little over 20 years ago now. And so I think this may have been before that, when I was starting to get essays published in magazines. Um, but that was it. I think it was enough that I was like considered to be a legit writer, which is not to say those of you who do not have publications yet, you're it's not that you're not legit, but you know how it feels, right? Where you're writing and writing things and people are like, you still haven't finished that book yet? And you don't really have anything to show for it. So this was a point after which I did have something to show for it. And the writers in my small Wyoming town had kind of admitted me to their circles, which makes it sound more highfalutin than it was. But it's simply that they knew I was a writer also. And I was friends with Mark Jenkins, who lived a block down the street from us, and we were good friends with Mark and his wife. She was just great. We would socialize together a lot. But Mark also wrote for Outside Magazine. He wrote a couple of books. He would go do these like adrenaline junkie adventures. And Outside Magazine was located in Santa Fe at the time. And he would sometimes fly from Laramie to Laramie to Denver, and then Denver to Santa Fe. And I was traveling a lot for the day job, and there was more than once that Mark and I ended up on the same first flight out on the prop plane from Laramie in the morning, and we would chat there too. But Mark said something to me one day that has stuck with me, although I did not follow his advice. And I wish I had? I don't know. I'm not much for going back and thinking about what I wish I'd done, because the path led me here and I'm happy with here. But Mark gave me some very wise advice. He said, enjoy this time when you have no expectations, when you have nothing due. You have no deadlines. No one is expecting you to write anything in particular, not your readers, not your employer. Now is the time when you have the ultimate freedom to write anything at all. And he says, I wish that I had enjoyed it when I had it. And for me, I didn't want to listen because I wanted what he had, right? I wanted to be employed by a magazine and have deadlines and expectations. I wanted there to be readers out there who wanted my work. And those are all great things to want, right? That's you have to want them if you're going to be a career creative, right? You want there to be an audience hungry for your work, because that's how you make a living. You want there to be people who pay you to do the thing that you do. But he was absolutely right in that I did not value that time when I could write anything at all the way that I could have. And I want to say should have. Uh, and it's something that we get ourselves into this pattern, which is important. It's important to establish that pattern, right? Of productivity, of meeting deadlines, of getting books out regularly, producing the next book in the series. But seeing that look on Minerva's face when I said, why don't you just write something that you just want to write? And it seemed like such a gift. And I don't know if she will. She might keep trying to work on this book that she has up for pre-order. But I am realizing right now that I am in that space where I don't have anything that I have. Well, I'll caveat this. Of course, I need to write Magic Reborn, the final book in my 9-book cycle of Bonds of Magic, Renegades of Magic, Warriors of Magic. But I have the pre-order up for October 31st. I can't publish it before that because of my non-compete with Tor, and I have lots of time to write it. And I am cognizant that, that's like 6 months away. And so it's not like I have infinite time, but I certainly have time right now. And, eventually I will be getting edits back on A Rose in the Mirror, A Rose in the Mirror, and there will be a sequence of things to do on that. And so I may just wait until those come in. I may work on some other things. I might just write something for fun. I got an idea that it's just really a formless, nebulous idea right now, but I kind of want to write it. But I'm just going to let it percolate. I'm going to, do this well refilling thing that I'm always advising all of you to do. I'm going to do it for myself and focus my achieving on all of these household chores. So taxes for 2024 are pretty much all done. I need to run some QA and make sure all the documents are there and send that off. And I'll send comments to my friend on her book. And then I'm going to start in on 2025 taxes. I've been trying to do quarterly, as I've mentioned. I really need to report quarterly. And so, of course, I'm already behind on first quarter of 2025. I'm going to try to assemble all the information monthly. I've altered my spreadsheet so that, for instance, when I go look up my credit card bill, like what do I need to pay this month, that I go ahead and grab that information of expenses and put it into my tax sheets. My taxes are complicated. I probably should have said that straight off because I know that for many people, they take the standard deduction and, and it's a fairly easy thing. I am one of those people with a mountain of receipts, and I itemize. I have a lot of deductions for the business. There are some parts of my income that are not reported on 1099s. I have to keep track of all of that. I'm a very compliant taxpayer, and so yeah, I'm going to start compiling that information monthly. Fully aware, Killian's going to get himself tangled up. Fully aware that the cat will get himself tangled. Fully aware that there will be some months that I slag behind. And I really I don't know. I have this goal where I want to try not to slide behind so much. And if I could just manage my writing schedule, this is my ultimate goal. And I know this is, if you're a longtime listener, I talk about this all the time. Like maybe I need to scale back my daily word count so that I have a little more brain space to do business, to keep up with all the numbers. We'll see. I don't know. And then I want to do, so of course we've been building the casita. Regular listeners know we've been building the casita. So one of the things that goes along with having a massive construction project on your property is we have one of those immense dumpsters, right? Like one of those industrial size, construction worthy dumpsters. And one of the things I want to do, they're going to be wrapping up in the next week or two, is I want to clean up the property. I want to do my spring cleanup. Maybe it's going to be warm next week. We're snow this weekend, snow starting this afternoon, snow and rain, we want the precipitation. I posted this to social media, but doesn't it seem like precipitous should mean full of precipitation? I feel like we should have a write-in campaign to change the word meaning. So while I'm doing that, I want to clean up the property so I can throw all that stuff in the dumpster because I don't normally have that. We do have the garage cleared out. David did a lot of work on it, enough that we can put the new car in there as well. And but I want to do a complete garage overhaul. We have these shelves at the back that are, I mean, there are things that we put there when we moved in 15 years ago, that kind of thing. In fact, my friend Minerva is one of these people who loves to purge. She's like, I will come down and help you clean out your garage. And I was like, I might let you. um, and of course, and we were talking about the balance of these kinds of things because I said, should I have a garage sale, which means stacking this stuff up so that I can do a garage sale? Should I put it on Craigslist? And she lives in this massive house. They used to run it as a B&B, and she she's been doing a lot of cleaning and purging. And she said, you know what I did was I just put everything on. She said, I gave it away. She said, I just donated everything because it was worth it not to spend my time dealing with people coming and looking at it and saying, well, will you take this and all of this kind of thing, the time to do a garage sale. And I'm kind of feeling that way. We'll see. Um, but, it always comes back to this conservation of energy and effort, right? So, like over time, we have this, what we call the garbage pen, this little fenced in area on the north side of the house that the garbage bins are supposed to be in. And when we'd gone down to having our overcrowded garage with just one car in there, we'd start keeping the garbage bin and the recycle bin in the garage. And so I need to go over and clean out that side, make it so that you can actually move things through there. And yeah, all of these things. So I kind of want to get maybe I'm going back to the, like Maslow's pyramid, the habitat, I need to shore up some of the foundations of the pyramid. And if I can get a bunch of things in place, then I can move forward creatively again. Um, yeah, so I mean, my to-do list is very long. It's got indoor and outdoor projects depending on the weather. Uh, you wouldn't believe how long this list is. I mean, it's probably like 50 things on there. Some of them are daily things, but yeah. Uh-oh. Hmm. Oh, there we go. It's weird how it freezes like that. I guess it just keeps going in reality, but on my screen it doesn't. Zencastr will only run on Chrome. I know I probably mentioned that before. I've pretty much switched entirely to Firefox, except for this. The other piece of news in my life is that I did talk to my mechanic about the Jag. And when I go to Canada, I'm just going to leave it with him for the week and he's going to play with it. He says it shouldn't be doing as badly as it's doing. So cross your fingers. He did lead off saying, he said, Jeffy, this needs to be not a daily drive car. And I said, I know, I bought a new one. And he said, oh, and he approved of my car purchase. So there's that. All right. Well, I'm going to work on some things today and, knock a chip off this list. And yeah, I will talk to you all on Monday. You all take care. Bye bye.